Hi, this is Christina Nugent, and now we're going to talk about filter slippage. That's one of the tools that I really like. It does live in the flyer trapper, but if you're the kind of person that likes to get under the hood, then this recording is for you. So when you go in and you look for website tools and go to lists, I'm looking at the filter list. This filter list is basically my slippage list. Now please note that I am looking at it by showing me all the criteria. If I hide it, obviously it's going to show me nothing. I want to see it all so you can understand it. Now when you go and click on specific tools here, it actually ends up closing out some of the views. Not exactly what I like to see. I like to see everything. So in order to see everything, if you start playing around with the wizards on the right hand side, it only allows you to control pieces of it. Then all I'm going to do is go back in and take a look at the entire tool. So I'm going to refresh the screen and show the entire criteria on the left hand side. I also believe that if you go and click on hide and then show again, it'll show you everything as well again. Now the nice part of controlling the wizards is that whatever you end up turning on or off, it'll show you that part. So if you want to control what the stock levels are only, then you can say, all right, my minimum, I don't want to see any stocks less than $15. If I want to take a look at my 2% slippage, so making sure that I'm willing to take up to a 2% between the bid and ask in relations to the underlying stock, or if I prefer 1%, notice the difference here on the left hand side, that turns on. If you don't want to see anything related to stocks that are merging, that's not as important to me as the slippage piece there. So that's the only real difference there. And then open interest for the underlying, that can often wipe out a bunch of potential, so we'll talk about that. And then ultimately, how many days are you willing to look at related to options expiration, if you're willing to look at all of them. And right now you can't see the results. So I'm going to click on hide and then show. So we see everything. And as you can see, it did keep my stock price. I don't want to see stocks that are less than 15. I left the stock volume off right now. You can set a minimum, but chances are, especially if you're doing while you're trading in the trading day, that may actually negate some of the big flyers there. So I'm not sure it's worth turning it on, but you can if you like. Open interest. To me, what's most important to me is less than 50 days. Actually, more importantly, I'm going to look for less than 35 days on these real short options. My minimum bid and ask is I don't want to see less than 5%. You'll have to change that if you're using this particular version as well. On the ask side, I don't want to see anything less than 20 cents. And then this is that percentage, which again, you can change that down. You can say 0.7% versus just 1%. So just realize that you have that flexibility as well. Now you can save your parameters by changing the default wizard, and I'm just going to call this test. It's very close to the filters that are involved in the fly trapper, but then if you hit save, just wanting to show you that then you have a default wizard called test, and then you can either run it here by loading the wizard that you want, or at the very bottom you just hit search. Now I have turned off the volume, so that's not on, and I did get some results based on the 17th of February, where surprise, surprise, Apple's on the top, Facebook, and you're seeing this. Now what you're saying is, well, Christina, what list did this run off of? Well, it ran off of a specific list, which is not what I would suggest that you do as a default. What you're going to do is you're going to want to use all optionable stocks and indices. So under search tools, you're going to use the drop down. Chances are you're going to be right around here. So I need you to scroll all the way down and hit all optionable stock. Make sure you save that. if you're going to save this particular search, and then you're just going to hit search. When I do that, then my spiders are going to come up, my QQQs, my Russell, my IWF, all the other ones that are going to come up, they all show up. And I prefer using this list so I can also use indices in my decision making for different butterfly spreads to look at. So as it's sitting there thinking, you can see the pretty little sun there. It should give me the results here shortly, which obviously when you take all optionable stocks and ETFs, it's a much bigger list. As I scroll down, you can see that it added, wow, it has quite a few. So why does it have 1,000? Well, it has something to do with the fact that, let's see, let me scroll to the top here. The bid-ask spread must not have been turned on, so let me turn that on. Yep, it's not on. 1%, big difference. So I'm going to turn that on. Again, I'm going to save my test. This is a great thing to actually have you see, so you can see, oh, that doesn't look right. So let me hit search on that. And looking for stocks that are 1% of the stock price. So in other words, if the stock has a $100 stock, then the bid-ask spread can be no greater than $1. So that number could actually be quite smaller, especially if you're getting, hundreds of candidates that come up. So just realize that that's something that you can play with to find better candidates. So let's see what comes up here on the filter slippage. We've got 135 stocks. That's a doable list. As I scroll down looking at the right-hand side, I know it's a little small to see, but you can see that it stops shy of 0.1. So it ends up, you can see that 0.98, 0.92, it is being sorted by open interest. Can you select your output? Good question. I'll have to take a look to see if there's an output version that I can take a look at. But at the end of the day, you can always click on the column that you want, on the top of the column, and you can then see that it is sorted by the smallest bid-ask spread there. So hopefully that helps. Again, it's built into the Fly Trapper, but I wanted you to understand the power of this tool, and I really, really focus on, I'm not going to look at any stock chart if the option chain is not liquid enough for me not to pay too much to come to that party. The bid-ask spread is a very expensive part of your trade, much more than commissions, and you really have to control it. Thanks, guys. Have a blessed day.